Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Axminster Tools and another woodworking wisdom. So, I'm Jason Bridge. Something a bit unusual. I got asked a while back, and someone said something about the drill bits we use. I was like, okay, bit of a weird question. We all drill a hole. What do you use and why? Use that drill. Okay, don't know. So, I'm going to look at a few of those answers, try and give you a few things of why I might pick a particular drill for a particular task, try and show you maybe some unique things that company that kind of used some of their drills over the years and gone, oh wow, that's different. So company we're going to look at, and I've got a lot of drills here from a company called FISCH, all right, who are a Austrian manufacturer. Okay, I know, mate, if you want to have a look, turn the camera down here, it's all on two, right? FISCH are an Austrian manufacturer. They make really good quality drill bits. The reviews, if you go online, look at our reviews for these, you understand, okay? They're not cheap. No, okay. I have the view that if you want good quality stuff, got to put your hand in the pocket just a little bit, okay? But they will last. They will also do the tasks that you're asking for, but you need to make sure you get the right type of drill for what you want to do, okay? So, bit of a boring subject for some of you, maybe. I don't know, but okay. Hopefully that's not too much of a pun. So we can go through a range of different drills I've got here. Some of the stuff is out of stock. When we planned this, the stock was meant to be delivered, but things are just taking a bit longer to get through. Becoming a bit frustrating, but it's not like everything, is it? Okay. So drills, most basic thing. I do a lot of woodwork. So over the years, definitely started using things like lip and spur drill. And I've got these two little ones on here. Matt's already beat me to the camera. Look, so Matt's going to take questions and stuff. We go. So lip and spur drills, real basic thing. Why this over a normal drill? And I've got something which I would class as a normal drill in a minute. So what's a lip and spur drill? Matt just told yourself, well, I'm just going to change drill. This one's slightly bigger. So we've got a spur point on the edge, very tip, all right? And then either side, there's two little spurs. That cuts a nice circle, helps reduce the breakout. So quite an important part. Now, the ones that have got the black are a basic lip and spur drill they make. Okay, we get these in a box set. We're going to use them a little bit. That has two flutes. The silver colour one is from an M2 high-speed steel. It has four flutes. So two deep ones and a finer one down to where my thumbnail is here. If I bring it up a bit more, you might see it. Now, what's the idea of having more flutes? It get rid of the waste quicker. That's a real fundamental part. Let's go. Okay, back to one. Great. So, if it gets rid of the waste quicker, why is that important? Most of you will have watched us where we've done some of our wood turning stuff. So imagine you start with a little lump of wood and you look at the shavings at the end of it. You cut into it, the shavings seem to grow. It's the same with a drill bit. So once you start cutting, shavings have got to go somewhere and they seem to expand. And if you think about it, you've got the space that the drill bit's occupying. So all these things add up. So you need to get rid of that waste quickly. How quickly you get rid of it will affect how quickly it will drill and create the hole you're after. So simple little things in reality. So over the years, obviously things have really developed. The cordless drill. What did you ever do before the cordless drill? Now, a couple of do's and don'ts and special things, I suppose, for this. This is going to drill me a hole. It's got a lip and spur tip, but I don't know if we can see. Let's just come round. I'm going to bring the bit of wood round 90 degrees that way. Okay. Hoping you can see what I'm at. Good. I'll go this side first. Now, I've got the drill fast pace. This is 2-speed. I can go through. I'm not pushing too hard. I can put a little finger on the back here. Look. I can push. That's creating my drive. Bunging up a little bit. I've got to bring it back. Okay. I'm not too forceful. Okay. That's 3. Okay. Going to do another one. Difference on this, I'm going to force it. Okay. So the one near the centre of the plank is the one we pushed. Nice and firm. Okay. Let's get it 3, mate, I think. Bring it over. Look at the bust out. All right, bring it back in a bit. That's better. Just bear with me, mate. Okay, so we've got this broken fibres all up on here. We've got a nice clean hole. Okay, mate. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I've got a question from Martin. Is it possible to sharpen lip and spur drills?
Okay, knew it was going to be a question. We're doing it in a minute. Okay, so let's just look at what we got in here. Okay, lots of bust out. Too much force, you're going to break out the fibres. Now, they will cut quickly. That whole influential little thing of this, actually, I can push my finger and I'm controlling how much pace I've got in behind. Helps reduce the bust out. I'm removing the waste. Okay, not too much effort. Now, more sensible thing, if you can, fine, where I put a clamp, which would go with one of those, is can you reduce the breakout totally on the back? Put a clamp on it. Put a scrap bit of wood in behind. That'll give you a really clean hole. So hole we've got one right over on this edge. I'm going to bring it over. No breakout. Absolutely clean. Cuts a perfectly clean circle. All right. Now, the idea of a lip and spur drill, obviously the spurs around the edge create a nice clean circle, help reduce that breakout. Let's just go to the 4 spiral. We'll get exactly the same, okay? This should clear the waste quicker. I'm going to do that just to put it on there. We can come down a little bit. This will drill quicker, even though it's a bigger size. I'll come back a bit. My pine's quite cloggy. Clear it. Finding just on the spurs. But it's pulling that waste out nice and cleanly and effectively. Nice clean hole entry-wise. Oh, I'll bring it over and exit. Now, if you think about what I would class, we'll look at one in a second, a normal type of twist drill we've all grown up with, not as clean hole-wise, more difficult to start, bounces around. So a lip and spur will give you a more accurate start point. So Matt bounced that questioning, can you sharpen a lip and spur drill? Not easily, okay? Before it gets too hot. Now, I've even got out on the bench here a few things in front of me, just trying to put the glasses then. Okay, so I've got some diamond files and stuff. Problem with a lip and spur, and it depends on the sizes. You've got that little spur point out here. Let's bring it in a bit. Where are you? Come over there. Got to bring it back. Out here, there's a spur edge right out on the point. Get the chip. Very difficult to sharpen. I could go with small diamond file, but it's problematic. And I've gone bigger size drill to try and show you. Once you get into the smaller size, not easy to do. My best advice I can give you with a lip and spur drill, keep it away from anything that's going to damage it. Try not to drop it. I know that happens occasionally. When you're storing it, put it back in the box it comes with. So most of the drills I've got on here got a plastic case. So when you're not using it, can you put it back in that case? That'll protect it. Don't drill anything where you might hit a nail or a screw. So investigate before you do it. Keep these for your premium sort of things of trying to make sure you get a nice clean hole. I know that sounds a bit elaborate. Occasionally things do happen. They're not that outrageously expensive, but try and look after them a little bit, right? So your lip and spur have quite basic use. Now we said other type of drill. Now I'm just going to change a little thing on the bench here. I've got a piece of metal sheet, okay? Let me just, okay, all right, okay. So we're going to just look at next drill. So I'm going to move a few things along. I'll put the lip and spurs right on the corner for a minute. This is something I really like. I think we go up into here. This is a 5mm but metal drill. Okay, the best way I can describe it is a metal drill. I'll go back to the lip and spur and do one other task in a minute. It won't drill the metal sheet I've got. We'll do something else. This will do metal, plastics. We'll compare this in a minute if you like. This is short section. Now it has hexagonal shank, so it'll fit straight into the cordless drill. You could have quick change. I've got other cordless drill on here. Let me just grab. We could probably go, keep them down there. No, okay. So there, this has got quick change, fits in, or you could put it in the chuck because it's hexagonal shank. Now, the reason I love this, if I bring it back in, look how short it is. I'll give you an idea of my flipping spur. Why do I like this? Most times if I'm drilling anything metal, it might be sheet material. All right, or I want to drill through a bit of bulk section. I find if I have a long section drill hanging out the chuck, as I start to push, it deflects a bit. I waste some of that energy. Also, obviously, it needs to be kept nice and sharp. I'm going to go slower speed for this. So I put the speed down. Other thing I'm going to use, a little bit of oil. I'm using the camellia oil I use to protect the tools with it, or add a little bit of lubricant. Going to line up where I want to be. First thing actually I'm going to do is a bit weird. I'm going to run in reverse, just slightly, tighten up the collet. Now I'm going to go forward. That's made a small dent. I clamp this down on the board, not pushing overly hard, just supporting the drill. If I run it faster, I'm going to generate more heat, which will actually start to heat damage the tip. So slower speed for sheet material will be better. There we go, nicely through. Okay, so nice and slow. The other advantage that oil acts as a lubricant, also stops some of that flaring out. So those short drills that they make, fantastic. Again, we'll put it back in a second. Now, I introduce one other task. We're going to compare two drills for you now. What would do the better job? So we've got the metal drill we just used. I want a piece of clear acrylic sheet. All right, let me just bring that up. I'm just trying to see where we can go. I'm going to go up to here. I want to leave metal on the vise. Got a bit plywood underneath. We go faster speed. Oh, okay. We've got our drill we went through. 5mm on the lip and spare. Now I'm hoping you saw the action of what happened when I bust through. Let's try and do the same with this. Very different action. So the metal drill, when we move through the acrylic sheet, lifts it up, pushes it away from. The problem that it will damage the back edge, it will break out the hole. The lip and spare, much cleaner hole, didn't lift it up, more control. So your lip and spare will be good for plastics. Okay. So simple little comparison test between those two drills, quite interesting to do. Just cleaning a little bit. Right, okay, so we've done our short metal drill. I'm going to put it back in its case, put the top back on. I'm going to skip a drill for a minute because we've got the metal sheet. Countersunk. All right, I'm quite a countersink fan. Never used to use a countersink until I worked for the company that I worked with before I came here. We have a whole range of, so different ones. Matt, can we go to 3 for me, please? All right, so this is the most basic one. And I'm not too much of a fan of this. All right, this is what I would class as an entry-level wood countersink. Note the magic word there, wood. So what does this do? Quite easy to do. You can create a hole. You could put this in the pillar drill. Let's go to a nice clean one. For timber, not too bad. We're running fast speed. Let's go down a bit. But I've got to put a bit of pressure in. It will give us a clean countersink, but I've got to put a bit of pressure in. Not good for metal. All right, so that's the star one. If you want, let's go small one. I'm going to show you both. In a minute, Matt. All right, just going to go to that. These are a Cobalt Countersink. These are really done for metal work. They will work on timber. Two sizes. There is a third one which is slightly bigger. So I'm going to go small one. So my metal sheet that we put that hole in, you might want to add a countersink. Why? Well, at the moment, if we take our metal off, I can get in there. Get my clamp. We're going to put our wood screw. We're going to fix it down. It sits proud of the surface. I'd like to get it flush. So our countersink, if I do it up, again, slower speed, we can cut that out. Let's go faster speed. It'll be more control. Great to put a pillar drill as well. You can get nice level and get your countersunk screw so it fits flush. Major area, especially for the smaller one. Something as simple, if I can open it, and this is one problem I've had over the years, the little hinge. So obviously the screw's too big. I've had that scenario where I buy the screws to go in this, they're too big. I want to sink them in a bit more. So good little countersink can be really good to go with. So you can sink that back in and just a tiny bit. If I'm going to do this, I actually fix it down on a couple of the screw holes to start with, use the pillar drill with a depth stop and do 2, shift the screws round, do the other 2. So it's nice and accurate. But such a godsend to actually get things nice and flush. All right, so we've done those 2. I'm just going to finish the countersinks and then we'll do you, okay? Snail Cutter. We give this a different name, okay? But I class it as a snail cutter. All right, I've done the link for this. Beautifully made. First introduced to these sort of things when I work with a guy making kitchens. Now, this is beautiful to use because we can get a lovely keen countersink, big hole, smaller one. All right. Now, have you notice on this, I can even do a countersink without a hole if you like. Got to push a bit more. And it's difficult to show it, I don't know if it's up here on the camera, but you get no judder, no tear. Actually gives you almost a polished surface. It will do, we've just done timber, we can do sheet metal, you can do alloy, whole range of things. So they're made of high-speed steel. They give me nice clean finish. You can see on here, if I bring it up, bring it over, waste, I'm just going to pull out, there's that metal strand. How to sharpen these? Someone might say, the only way you can really sharpen this is to polish the internal hole with a file. But again, one of those things you need to look after. First of all, you want to be able to find it. It's worth storing it back in its little container. Okay, so into there. So at the moment, we've done 3 different types of countersink. They have different uses. Wood one, okay, that's quite entry level. I think £14–15. You can go up to 26–30 quid for a good snail cutter. Twice as much money. Which would I go for? The snail. Because it will last. I've got to do more things for you, give you a better finish. So I'm a bit biased. But Matt, you got that question. Go on, let's go.
So got a question from Paul Norman. Would you use a lip spur drill bit on a wood lathe?
You can. There's no reason you can't. The thing you want to think about there is your speed. You've got to get it entry. It's kind of, that's the important bit, the entry level thing. All right, so just bear with us because we're kind of going to lead that way. Now I'm just going to put those 2 countersinks. These are the Cobalt ones from memory. You're just going to put them back away, so don't throw them around the room. Put that one back on there. So it's a good question because where we're kind of leading now. Where are we? Oh, let's go to there. Right, so different drills. This is the lip and spur we used earlier, and yes, I would use that. You've got to think about speed is the major thing, not too fast. You want to control what's happening on the lathe. We also do pen drills. Now, if you've been watching Ben when he's done his pen making, we use these. These have a parabolic flute. Look at the difference in the flute. I'm trying to grip this from a finger so you can see. Look how much the spiral changes from a normal to that. It's almost twice as much twist. These are the same diameter. More spiral on the one where my pencil is now. Not as much. So they actually, on the pen drills, have more twist. It's a difficult thing to try and describe. If you bought a pen drill, you will know what I'm looking at. It's designed to pull the waste back out quickly. It is designed for things like your plastics, your timbers, drilling into end grain. But, and I think we go to it, Matt. We'll have a look on fall. So I'm going to put the chuck on the lathe. Onto there. A couple of things I would do. So we had that question of if I was going to do a lip and spur on here for a pen, and you can use a lip and spur drill. We've got plastic pen blank. First thing I would do, tip of the skew chisel, make a tiny V right into the middle. And I mean, it's minute. Why do I want to do that? Because that will help guide my drill bit. So I'll put the tailstock chuck in, bring that up. Let's do a little bit on either end of this then. So on here, we've got that lip and spur. I can put that in. I can bring this up. I can check then that it's going to go into the center point. That little point I've just done will help guide the drill bit. Next thing I've done, speed-wise, difficult to know on this hasn't got a digital display on the lathe I've got. But I can take my speed down a little bit. I hold the drill chuck. You can see the waste coming out. That takes a bit of effort. Now, too fast a speed, especially on the plastics, if the drill gets too hot and it's not clearing it, it starts to melt it all bung up. It'll wrap around the drill as well. So let's change to the pen drill, or what we would class as a pen drill in here. All right, as we said, got different uses, but our main thing in here, definitely for this, I'm going to turn it around. We can do exactly the same as I did. You haven't got to, but if you've got something that's not square-ended, this can be a great little tip, just to do that small V. How long did it take? So from there, we can bring tailstock up, get our location. Again, I support the tailstock and the drill chuck. Look how much quicker this is going around. Pulling that waste out. Again, I've kept the speed down. I can drop this right down on slow speed. I can control that. Run out a barrel. Let's come back. Move in a bit. But this is designed about pulling that waste out. So if you want to do drilling on the lathe for something like a pen, or maybe you're doing like the bud vases like we've done. You want a smallish hole. I can't remember what size these go up to on the top of my head. That can be a better way of going. We'll give you a really quick drill. Everything on this is designed about bringing that waste out, clearing what you're doing, stopping it bunging up and bunging the drill tip. So that leads nicely to long hole boring. We do a long hole boring kit. Now, a lot of people kind of say, if I do long hole boring on the lathe, keep your lathe speed low. Give it time to bring this back as much as it's quicker. It needs to travel back. We also do our tailstock center that gets rid of that waste really effectively. So quite an important part. So this spiral works nicely. Matt, I think what we do, can we go to overhead for me? 3, okay. Just going to have a look, going to try and compare that. I'm going to bring it in, get my hands back, okay. Exactly the same type of drill. So they have a spiral, same type of twist. If you go to the normal drill, not quite as coarse on the flute coming backwards. So this is all about trying to create access to give the drill a chance to do that job. Clear that waste really effectively. So that match darts around a bit. So this is that long drill. Right? That's that long hole boring kit. So exactly the same type of drill. That's quite a unique thing for us. Years ago, we used to have a shell auger. Not as effective. So this is about clearing that waste quickly and effectively, okay? So your pen drill, yes, if you want to drill stuff on the lathe, that sort of size, that sort of is the best thing to go with, okay? Right, okay. Let's move that out the way. Doing a pen drill. Could do quick countersink, but different to what we've already done. If you wanted to put a screw in, drill a pilot hole, and have countersink in one, you can have countersink fixed onto a drill bit. I still drill a pilot hole in my work if I'm going all the way through, so I don't split the wood fibres. I know the screws these days can have a drill type tip, but I still like to do this. Again, if you use this in a pillar drill, or you could even go with, it depends on kind of job you're working on, an Nexus drilling guide can be really good. You could have this in here, you can do a depth stop, so you can set it up and make them repeatable. There are ways of making things nice and accurate, but this will give you a way of obviously going in, drill your pilot hole, then you can drill your hole for your screw head. Let me bring that over, just trying to find the screw. So I've done my hole in here, right? That'll go in back to there. Look. All right, I could put that in. I could drill the pilot hole all the way through. This is thicker. I can adjust the length. Even on here, I could bring, there is a grub screw on the side, bring it in, try and look at the camera there. No, have a camera map. Fix that one there. Okay, grub screw there, we can bring it out. Okay, so I can adjust the length of that drill bit. So if I wanted something thicker or thinner, it can be really good. All right, so drill and countersink all in one can save a lot of time if you're doing so, especially on something like a floor. You want to fix it down. Okay, so quick and easy one to do that one. Now, going up in size a little bit. Going to move that. Got metal shards on the bench, don't want those. Not too much damage on that. I cut a few bits of pine just to give us size. I'm going to go the other way round, I think. And we'll show you a few different ways of doing things. I had to fit some electric cable. When I put my new workshop in, I wanted to get the cable through. So I'm going to show you a couple of options to sort of thing. So this is long spiral auger. I'm of that generation when I started doing my woodwork that my father had bit and brace. You can remember that? Camera one that? So you had that thing where you turn the handle and you land on it. Okay. This in reality is the same thing. It just has hexagonal shank, so I can put it in the cordless drill. It's got spiral tip. The spiral is pulling it in. All the drills we've looked at, the lip and spur, the pen drill, are all guided by that tip. All right. So at the moment, everything has been guided by the tip. The same with the auger I've got here. So this has a screw thread on the front, a spur edge out on the side. And again, that's the thing you've got to try and keep, that little spur edge that's right out on here. It's sharp. That will pull into the workpiece as well. That severs the fibers. The other side has the cut. This has one very deep, coarse spiral. Not 3 or 4, 1. Okay. Again, this can be good actually to use slow speed. So drill wise, down on there. Go down there to start with. This is quite fun to do. Now, I don't know if you can just go, we'll do a bounce between there. Let me get it in first, okay? I've got to lean on this a little bit to start with. All right, so pushing hard with my thumb on the back of the drill. Can't quite see it, that's good. Just there at the picture on the side there. Once I'm in there, I've just got to pull the trigger. Yeah, I'm going to have a problem in a minute because I'm going to run out of pull. So I haven't got to pull very much. I'm trying to control the handle from flipping over on the bench all the way through. Now, we will bust out the back, but we've got nothing supporting it. So if you can be worth. If you're putting electric cables or pipes through, great, quick and easy big hole. If I use the brake out, clamp on something on the back edge. Yes, it will damage that a little bit. It will pull through. The reason I said go slow speed, first of all, you won't burn the drill tip. I'm going to come up a little bit. Let's do there. Should give me a better finish. You won't burn the drill tip. You're giving it time to clear it. The spiral will actually pull the drill in at a pace. So my hands are really controlling the drill, not pushing. All right, gone right through the ply. That's good. So we can get nice, clean hole. All right. So long augers, we can get different sizes. Speed is really important on those, not too aggressive. Other things that have been developed over the last few years. Camera frame out place. Power auger bit. Hexagonal shank, 4 floats. Spiral tip. They're actually, and you can get different sizes, different lengths. Likewise, the auger we've just shown you can get different lengths. But short, stubby bits can be fantastic if you're doing something in between the joists and the house, getting the cables through, your plumbing, your pipe work, because you've got to get down between the joists. I'm going to play around my drill now. I'm going to take that off. I'm going to give you that kind of scenario. This wasn't on our product list, but I love this. I have one of these little Bosch drill. So I've got now something that will do something right angle. I've got the chuck on. I could have even put just the holder. Now I'm going to give you that fundamental thing now. I'm going to drill my joist. I've got something quite short now that will fit in between the joist. Again, which way am I going? Back, forward. I'm going to support the drill a little bit. Slow speed at the moment. I've got to get that screw thread on the front. A little more. Oh, now it's starting to bite. Now, Matt, just keep on camera 1 now. I'm just going to hold the trigger and the drill. I'm not pushing anything behind the drill. That's self-driving. It will stop when it gets to the other side, I hope, because the screw thread will come out. So it won't pull all the way through because actually the screw thread runs out of drive. It's got nothing to pull into. If I want it to pull all the way through, we need something to give it drive. Let's put the clamp round the other way, got more access to do it up. Now I can't believe how much drive these have that I don't have to push. Got to get it into the ply now. Probably done. Going to bring it in reverse, pull it out. You can see these. Look at this. Lots of fibres, but lots of clearance space in this. Short section, then lots of clearance behind. Get rid of that waste fast and effectively. I'm hoping we might be. Not quite. Got a little bit to go. Could come up. But you can see how much drive this thing has. Let's do a whole well, if I put it first speed and I put the block on first, look. And this is why I would say do it slow speed. You're going to control it. First speed, got a push to start with. Stall the drill. This is 10.8. Slow speed, more torque. Supporting it, not pushing too hard. Hoping. Should be all the way through, I hope. Just on the tip. Okay, but lovely clean holes. Nice, fast and effective. And that's quite an important part, all right? How that pulls in, goes all the way through, gives you a good clean hole. They can be really aggressive. So if we go back to your question where we had about, can we put this on a wood lathe? What do you reckon? No, don't go putting this or your auger on your lathe. What's going to happen? You switch your lathe on, even if you've got slow speed, it's going to actually pull the drill chuck out of the tailstock towards the headstock or bring it along. Can be quite dangerous. So keep these for your cordless drills. Don't go putting them anywhere near your lathe, okay? They can be a little bit too aggressive for that. All right, definitely creating a mess. Move a few things. Then we're going to get into what probably most of you might have. So I'm going to get different drills out. We're going to go through them one at a time. So I'm going to go overhead of camera. This is Sawtooth. If you watch Colwyn's video the other week on the pencil burrs, this is the Sawtooth we used there. If I bring my hand around, I want to just grab the pencil off the bench. I'm hoping I can grip it. I'm trying to get it. All right. So up on here, you've got this diagonal. So it has a sawtooth edge around the edge here. Can we resharpen this? Yes, you can get diamond file. We could go, I've got a couple in here, across the flat, up this angle. Not where I'm doing it mid-air. It's a bit tricky, okay? You want to lay it on the bench and ideally push this up through. There, flip them around, do the other side, do there. If I want to get into where the sawtooth section is of this diagonal, something as a small triangular file would be good. So we can resharpen down through that edge. Down in here. No one there, no one there. So I can resharpen these. Okay, they can take a bit of effort. So sawtooth cutter, what is that for? Traditionally would be classed as end grain. So this is good for your lathe. It will go in, you can do half hole. Sawtooth and where we're leading in a minute, which is FORSTNER bits, are actually guided by the diameter, not the chip. All right, so they do need a little bit of, if I'm putting this on the lathe, I'd still do my center point drill just to guide the center point in. But once you create a circle, it's going to follow that circle. These will give you a nice clean hole. But sawtooth cutters are better for end grain. FORSTNER, what's the difference? FORSTNER bit, short pattern one. This has smooth edge around that circle. There aren't those teeth. Compare. All right, hoping you can see the difference in the shape. That's good. So, FORSTNER, sawtooth. FORSTNER bit is better for going cross grain. Give you a cleaner finish. The other nice thing, you get something with a flat bottom. So, unlike what we've just done with the auger, get a spare and a long point going in, very little damage in the centre. All right, so we've got the two at the moment. I've got a bigger one really just to show you. FISCH actually do something a little bit different. They do a wave edge. Can you see that lovely serration edge? That's really clever. And this got me thinking the other week, we actually do this as a salt and pepper mill set. So you can use these to drill out salt and pepper mills. But in reality, this is a FORSTNER. I said end grain would be a Sawtooth. The kind of what's going to work. Well, actually, if you start looking into it, they've got a serrated edge. What's that about? That's about trying to reduce the heat buildup, give you a cleaner finish, and help cut it effectively. Again, we can sharpen the edge. So they're very effective at cutting end grain, side grain. You can use them in both situations. So this we can use on the lab. So let's go back to a block of pie and let's get a bit in here. And this was me really playing about. Change my drill bit. I'm just going to have it straight. Don't need the right angle. Not going to go in there. Let's go short. Short Sawtooth. Fast speed. And cross grain. Better for end grain. My goal, I'm trying to find comparative size. That's short saw. Bit smaller. What have I got in the box? 25. So the drill I wanted to use was the one that Colwyn used the other week. It won't fit my drill chuck. Too big. I wonder if it fit the no. I wonder if it fit the bigger one. I'll come there. Okay. So a bigger drill, a bit more clout. It's still drilling. This is FORSTNER. That's drilling quicker, cross grain. Faster, easier to do. It's going to be difficult to show you the finish. From looking down, I can kind of look in here. The end grain fibres around here, a bit more torn with the Sawtooth. Cleaner with the FORSTNER. Yeah, we go the other way then. So at the moment we've got the FORSTNER bit. Now this has wave edge as well, so let's just have a look. Slipping on my foot, pushing too hard. Now again, through this drill, I'm actually on slow speed. Just to give me a bit more control, it might be better going up the speed. This should throw the fibres out quicker. This, just checking I'm not going to hit a hole. Got to get it located. So a little bit quicker for the end grain. Okay, so the Sawtooth is better for your end grain drilling. Your FORSTNER is going to be quicker cross grain. Going to have a bit of both. Okay, so we're going to lead to the wave ones they make. As we said, we can sharpen those. All right, so should we do the wave one to start with? Let's have a play down here and go move the bit of wood around again, really, Matt. I want clamp that I put down. It's on there. Not quite on there. So we go back to our block. Just checking where we are on the camera just to see where things are. All right, so going to play with the wave cut. Now we've said about this. I can bring it back in. That's got your wave edge. That's serration. This is fixed tip. What I'm getting now, a little bit different. I've got one other one to do there. I've got to remember that. So this actually has, I've taken the tip out. There's no tip. I can have a drill bit. I can have a center point. So this actually, I can have, if I can find it from looking the wrong way around, turn it up. Drill bit will go in, so I can self-guide there if you like, which is what we're going to start off with. If I have something that's nice and flat, small point. I did even think about, and we've used these quite a bit, definitely with the Sawtooth stuff, with the chair seats. So most of the holes on here, you're drilling at an angle. It's not straight. It's difficult to start off if it's not straight. We didn't want to go all the way through, so we stopped them. So we set a depth. With it being a wave cutter, again, it's like a FORSTNER bit. It's flat bottom, gives a nice clean bottom hole. Small center point, okay, great. But starting at an angle can be problematic with some drills. So FORSTNER bits, as long as you've got two options, haven't we? Wave cutter for this. Just seeing where we are on our board. Picture. If I want to put an angle in, I've actually got to start upright, then tilt it. That works quite nicely. So it's a case of start it with the one with the interchangeable tip. Got a couple of options. We're in and air in a bit. Which bit should we do first? We could even actually, if we set our angle, drill a hole with a small drill bit. So I've occasionally done that. You could then put it in. And I'll drill back. Now the fish drills on here, they have 3 flats on the shank. So it stops it slipping in the chuck. I will need faster speed. We can follow that little drill. That helps guide it. So I've used that small center point drill, which is longer in this case, to guide on in. How do we take that back out? We have removal tool, hopefully. I've got to give it a tap, which I did have hammer. So that comes out. Another thing I did notice the other day, I could drill small hole. I used an Allen key that I've cut off as a guide pin. So I could have something preset into the piece of wood, put my drill on, use it as a guide. That worked nicely. All right, so lost a bit of metal now, look. I knew it'd happen. So we're going to use this on the lathe though. So let's change our chuck. And we'll do something like a salt and pepper mill. On there, but undo the spindle lock so it'll go round. Take the speed down. Scenario some of you will have, and it'll be interesting to see. Let's bring our lock handle up with it. I'll bring this back. How much room have we got? Sawtooth cutter. I can put in the drill chuck. Should just fit. Now my piece of wood I've got on here isn't massively long. This is probably 8 inches long at most. I'm struggling almost. The end of the lathe is there. If I had a 12-inch piece of wood, I'm not going to get it in here to drill it nicely. I'm going to struggle on size to get that to fit into there. Get it actually on the lathe bed. Some of you got those smaller lathes. So interesting things that FISCH have done with some of this. And there are different kits, okay? They do a Morse taper fitting. Matt, can we go to camera 3, please? All right, so we do a Morse taper fitting. That fits in. We could select our drill. We've got the bigger one. We've got the tip. I can put that in. And I drop the tip. All right, so this is all Morse taper fitting, so it'll go in. I can automatically just load that into the lathe. 4, please, Matt. So that'll go in. So I can hold that lathe. I've gained a lot of length here. By being shorter drill bit with the Morse taper, I've got a lot more access. When the lathe on, bring it up. Put the goggles on for this bit bigger. Again, I still hold things with my hand a little bit. Get it to bite. There it is. I can take the speed up a little bit. Out a length on the barrel. Okay, but we can bring back. I can come forward, do another one. But surely I'm never going to reach all the way through, am I? So, other thing they do with this, again, just going to tap things apart. Where are we at the moment? Let's go to 3. Some Morse taper. Extension piece. Drill bit. Now, the advantage I've got with this, I can build and extend as much as I like. There's a longer extension piece again. I can feed that in. Everything taper fits together. I can take it apart. I'm not losing the space, and this is going to run down the drill chuck now because I haven't got that drill chuck holding. I'm not losing this 2.5, 3 inches of space on the lathe bed. So I've got my bit more length out of the drill there. Bring the lathe on. I can keep drilling. So we've got that Morse taper doing the work. Now, if I'm doing a salt and pepper mill, something like this, I'd actually turn the work round halfway. But it depends on how deep you want to go. Some of you might be doing hollow pot. Bring that back out. There you go. So project on the tail stock. And back enough, that's better. Take it apart again. So move that about. So that kit's quite clever. We can have interchangeable tips. We can have Morse taper bits. I've got a lock on there. Move it over. Take the goggles off a second. Don't need that. Last one I nearly forgot. So you want to do something where, and I've had this scenario, it's kind of where it's set up. I had to drill some holes and I want to put some plugs in for some railway sleepers for a friend in their garden. Race beds. I want them all to be the same. Saves me time. Oh, grab the drill. So it saves me a bit of time. They're all the same. So there is a collar stop. This has Allen key fitting back on the collar here. I can adjust it. The green bit, we come into there. So my piece of wood, I'll go back to there. We're going to hit that hole now. Go to there. I can drill a hole. We'll come down to our bit. One. Clear the waste. Mine's a bit gunky on there. Come out to the next one. We get them all the same. That saved me a lot of time from the frustration of different size plugs, different lengths. Good one. I'm going to clean out the bottom one. Okay, so that will stop when it hits. So quite a useful little attachment to have on something where you want to do things all the same. So it doesn't wear out, it spins, so it almost acts a bit like a bearing, if you like. Quite unique as a piece of kit. Quite cleverly thought out. Put that one back in here. Okay. Matt, have you got any other questions, mate? You, all right? Oh, he's having a look. No? You sure? Hopefully, giving a few ideas on things. The lathe thing I love, okay? Great way of holding. The Morse taper thing really makes a difference. Some of you are going to say, it's expensive. Yes, it is. I bought lots of drill bits over the years. Wave ones, I love, they always feel sharp. Now, we said to you earlier, you can sharpen certain things. Really want to look at what they got, that one there. So, little diamond file. Tricky for me to sharpen on the bench like we're going to do. I don't want to do it up in the air. Bring my glasses back on. Little diamond file, 320 grit. We've got internal slope up on here. I can come up. I can't sharpen the wave edge, but I can do side there. Okay, I can go across the flat. Now this is the fixed pin already machined, and these are a forged piece of metal, so they're not actually machined. They're almost like a forging process first, then they're actually ground, and then they're sharpened. Now the pin could be a bit problematic. We go to, well, I've got my box set, and I can take the pin out the middle, which we know we can do. Hopefully. Nearly. There it is. Take the pin out, go put it back in the foam top. Now, by taking the pin out, I found it so much easier to sharpen. So we're going to go back up into there. Good. 320. Because actually I've got nothing in the middle now. I can come straight across. Oh, that's there. So much easier. And again, if you're going to sharpen these, hold them in your vise. So I prefer to be down here, holding the vise, and get my angle. Come across. Spin it round 180 degrees. Sit your file on. Make sure it feels comfortable. All right. If I want to get right into the triangle corner, not as necessary on the wave edge one, because this actually is quite a flat edge on the side. You could use small triangle, but actually that's going to come up across. That's enough. Then do that front face. Get no bear. Fine. So this is 320 grip. You've got GMT ones, 600 grip. Nice fine edge. Keep them sharp. They will cut more effectively. So just that sharpening thing can make a real difference. There aren't many drills that you can sharpen yourself. Frederick probably asked about how can you sharpen the lip and spares and things like that. We're going to look at maybe some of the what I would class as single point drill, but more difficult to sharpening. We do a Tormek thing, we do a few other things that you can put on the bench, sort of bench grinder setup. For again, not easy to sharpen a normal drill bit. Lip and spare ones, pretty tricky. You need to protect those, so keep them in the boxes if you buy it in a box. If it's in a plastic tube, try and protect it, okay? Right then, Matt, I think you haven't got any other questions, all right? So, guys, we will be back in next week, trying to think of what's next week. Best thing I can say is Happy Easter. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on Tuesday. Thanks then. Bye-bye.